Hello, everybody. I hope that you are all well. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting to be joining you guys tonight. The chat box is already going mad, which is just amazing. So please keep putting your comments in there, your questions in there. It's amazing to be with you tonight. My name is Steph de Borg, and I'm going to be with you tonight running this event. I have got an amazing guest speaker on for you who turned supervisor in January. So stay tuned to hear her top tips too. But first and foremost, I'm going to hand over to the amazing Bob Parker.
Hello everybody, and thank you for joining us for our very special supervisor training. If you don't know me, I'm Bob Parker. I'm the country manager for Forever Living here in the UK, and I also have responsibility for Ireland and for Iceland. It's my pleasure to open our session today by saying well done to each and every one of you for being here. I know that very many of you are still on that journey from assistant supervisor to supervisor. So today's training is designed specially for you. It's an exciting time in your forever career. For those of you who have regularly looked at our recognition evenings or perhaps come to one of our live recognition events, you'll know that when we get to supervisor recognition, I always say, if you can achieve supervisor, you can go wherever you like in the marketing plan after that. And the reason I say that is very often when people are working their way to supervisor, it's in the early weeks, months or years of their forever journey, maybe still wondering whether this business can work for them, whether they can do it, whether this business is even for real. I promise you all those things are possible. And I think when you get to supervisor, you'll soon know that the world is your oyster. So pay attention today, make lots of notes, get interactive with our training. We've got two very special trainers. Our host is Steph de Borg, a lady who has achieved incredible things in the marketing plan, as well as being one of our recent Eagle qualifiers. So you're in safe hands there. And she is being supported by one of her downline team members who's recently got to supervisor. Her name is Nicola, and we look forward to hearing from Nicola too. So enjoy your day, make lots of notes, and I look forward to seeing you in the very near future at one of our recognition events where I can put that supervisor pin firmly on you. Take care.
I hope that you are all feeling inspired for that. I'm just going to skip from Bob's slide just there. So I'll introduce myself first and foremost. So I am Steph de Borg, who Bob mentioned before. And basically, my forever journey has just been incredible. I am, excuse the kind of pun with this, but I'm so forever grateful to this company for what it has given us. I started my business in June 2018 when I fell pregnant with my daughter Arabella. You can see her in the picture here. She is actually turning 4 on Friday. I'm loving all your comments as well, by the way, so please keep using the comments feature. It's great to see all your messages in there. Please feel free to ask questions as well. During my time with Forever, I have become a senior Eagle manager. I have achieved all of the different aspects on the compensation plan, such as Forever to Drive, chairman's bonus. But most importantly, what this has enabled myself and my husband, Tom, to do, that you can see in the picture there, is leave our previous careers, leave the rat race. So I was an assistant head teacher. Any fellow teachers or educators out there, please say hello. I was working across a federation of schools in Manchester, and I truly, truly loved my job. But finding out that I was pregnant really changed my perspective, and I didn't want to be working the 60 to 80-hour weeks that I was. I wanted to have that time at home to be a mummy. It seemed completely impossible at the time, I'm going to be honest. And when I told my very skeptical husband, Tom, what I was going to do, he thought I was absolutely mad. I can see lots of people coming on saying where they're from in the UK and education backgrounds, etc. Tom, my husband, he was a project manager, and he also was looking for that time. He was working across Europe and working away from home a lot. And we wanted to be at home with our daughter, Arabella. So fast forward basically to my time. I'll just give you a quick overview. It was December 2019. I was due back to work in March 2020. So for those of you kind of thinking COVID times, that would have meant I was returning to the school at the beginning of COVID. I ended December 2019 on 5 case credits. 5. That was including my team's case credits as well. I didn't really have a team, if I'm being honest with you, at that time, or an active team. And I finished April 2020 that month on 115 case credits. So I went from 5 case credits in the December to 115 in the April. Now, I actually did turn supervisor before that happened, crazily enough, but do you know what? I just wasn't consistent. I wasn't committed to the business. I knew why I was doing it, but I wasn't really committed to that why, which I thought, if I'm honest with you, was just a bit overhyped and I didn't really need to know. I'd really encourage you to look at that. You will have a reason why you're giving up your time tonight, and I'm so privileged that you are giving up your time to come and listen to this, but really play the why game. Okay, I do this with my team. I say, why are you here? And they'll tell me, and I'll say, why? And they'll tell me again, and I'll ask them why. And we do that 5 to 7 times. And what you'll often find is that the reason that you're here, whilst you think it is to do with money, for me, I needed to replace my income so I didn't have to go back to work as an assistant head. What you will often find is that there is such a bigger picture as to why that you are here. And a huge driving factor for me, and I don't know whether anyone can relate to this, please pop in the comments if you can, is my pride. I had so many people at the beginning of this journey tell me, including my husband, Tom, it wouldn't work, it wasn't going to happen. What do you think you're doing, leaving a great job, a great income? I am so determined and have been so driven in proving those people wrong and proving that I can be that success, that has been a huge driving factor for me. The second has been time with Arabella, and that has been a huge driver in me joining this. It was the beginning of why I started my journey with Forever. I wanted the time with her. So like I mentioned, in March, I was able to hand in my notice, March 2020, and able to work Forever full time. My husband, Tom, was able to join the business in May 2020, so quite shortly afterwards, and it has literally been the making of our family. The time that we have, the perspectives that we have had that have changed. I very often hear a lady that I'm sure a lot of you will know, Lisa Prescott, say, don't wait to be happy. Be happy now. And I would truly say that being in Forever has really enlightened me to that concept. Being happy now, being happy in the moment, and definitely time and time freedom have been the key factors for that. Again, it's so lovely to see your comments. I'm absolutely loving this, so please keep them coming in. They're absolutely brilliant. So some of you may or may not have seen what Supervisor is. Supervisor is basically achieving 25 case credits over 2 consecutive months. These are not just your case credits. They can be from your team's case credits, from your team's case credits, and from your team's case credits. So it can go 3 generations deep. These trackers are available for you on Forever Knowledge, and in fact, you are all that are on the call tonight going to be receiving one of these in an email tomorrow. So watch your email boxes for one of these coming through. You can track your case credits, and actually, this is amazing. I didn't have this when I was turning supervisor, and I created my own. I'll talk about that more in a little bit, but really, you've got to commit to it and track it, know where you're up to, not play at it, actually commit to it and do the do. So what does Supervisor look like? Oh my goodness, it can look like 100 different ways. It depends on the person. I personally turned Supervisor without any case credits from team members. And I'll talk to you about how I did that in a moment, and actually why that has been really amazing for my future business. However, you can see here how this works and how Supervisor can look. So, you know, if you've got just 2 people doing 4cc, you're doing 4cc as well. You've maybe got a couple of people doing, you know, 2cc, 1cc, and you can see how that recruitment can look. And I would really urge you, you will all, when you started this business, have received a first steps to manager. If you haven't got that anymore, please screenshot this screen now so that then you can actually go back and have a look at this. But if you've got your first steps to manager, trust me when I say I've looked for every silver bullet in this business. I've looked for every hidden gem, every pot of gold. There is no quick. There's no secret to this. Trust me when I say that it really is about following the basics, looking at our first steps to manager, and that is exactly what myself and Nicola are going to do tonight, is talk you through what we did to get to supervisor, and you'll see how it so much aligns with exactly what you've seen in first steps to manager, but shows you exactly how to implement it. So why supervisor? Well, I'm going to say first and foremost, that picture is why. That picture, blurred and everything as it may be, that is one of my proudest pictures of my forever career. In fact, one of my proudest pictures, full stop. It was the moment that I went on stage and I received my supervisor pin and sash. You can see it in the blurry picture there. I was ecstatic. I was absolutely buzzing, because it meant that my business was growing. I'd worked hard, I'd worked consistently, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But what you're going to get from achieving supervisor is an insane business growth. You're going to get retail growth. You might get team growth as well. And as I mentioned before, those CCs can come from your team as well. So you haven't got to sit there and think, wow, I've got 25 case credits to do on my own. You actually can do this, excuse me, with a team as well. So I'm going to show you how I went about doing this. If you've got any questions at all, please put them in the chat box. I am keeping an eye on it, hence why I keep looking the other way. If you want to ask any questions, please put them in. I'm more than happy to answer them. So how did my journey to supervisor look? I did 8 case credits in my base month. These were all personal case credits and recruitment. I think I'm right in saying I recruited 1 person during this time, possibly 2. My qualifying month was 17 case credits. Now, like I say, this was not done with team case credits, which I'm not necessarily encouraging you to do. However, this did mean that because I did it on retail alone, my retail business was set up for life. Okay, I have not had to do extra retail activity unless I wanted to, and it has been quite minimal since turning supervisor because my customers have been set up. I worked really, really hard to get those case credits through, to get those regular customers in, and I will show you how in a moment, don't worry. But by doing so, it's meant that actually I've got a customer base set up. I never worry now about doing my 4cc. In fact, I do far, far, far more than that, like double that a month. And that's because I've done the activity, and that's really paid off for me. Well, we're now looking, what, nearly 4 years down the line since turning supervisor. I've put this quote in here. Some of you may have seen this before, but it's something that really strikes me. I'm not somebody who's going to give up because of myself, okay? And the key thing that I found with Forever that I loved was that I grafted really hard as an assistant head. In fact, in anything that I've done, in any job that I've had, whether it was a part-time waitressing job when I was a kid or, you know, whatever, I worked really hard. I wanted to feel the money. I wanted to feel that gratification of doing a good job. And that's why I love network marketing. That's why I love Forever, because actually it's entirely right when it says it works 100% of the time for 100% of the people that are willing to give it the time. And it really is true. This business will not fail on you. It will only fail if you step away from it and you don't do it. And that for me gave me such passion and drive, because I knew that my future was in my hands. If I wanted the promotion, if I wanted a supervisor, I wasn't waiting on somebody else to give it me. I wasn't waiting for somebody to leave at work for me to get it. It was in my power to have it. And if you're sitting there thinking, I've spoken to a few people, some people aren't interested, there are 67 million people in the UK when I last checked it. Please feel free to go and prove me wrong. But that is a lot of people. Have you spoken to all of them? And that's in the UK alone. It's really rare to be within a company that operates in over 160 countries globally. That is massive. You've got such scope here that truly, when I say you've got the power in your hands. So what did I do? Okay. I had, when I started, a small regular customer base. These were mostly on gel drinkers. Freedom drinking gel was an absolute winner for me, and the plain drinking gel. And that was literally where I had my 3cc business. So with my own personal use, that usually brought it up to 4cc. But before getting to supervisor, I was really struggling to hit 4cc. So if you're in that same situation where you think, you're getting to the end of the month now and you're thinking it's a bit of a struggle, and should I hold my case credits back so I can do a base month next month? Please, please, please don't. Okay. And I'll come back to that in a bit about why it's about picking now and saying, this is the time I am going to be a part of this. It is in my hands. Okay. So what did I do to get to supervisor on retail alone? That is how I did it. Retail alone. I organised 12 pamper parties. 8 of those actually happened because of course people call off. People are busy. They've had an argument with their other half. They can't be bothered, whatever it is. I can see comments coming through here and I will address these, so please keep putting them in. I was honest with people. So I actually didn't host any of those parties myself. I went to my friends, and instead of getting all of those friends over, I said, this is what I'm looking to do. I am going to leave my job and I really need your help. And I think sometimes we're quite cautious about sharing with people and about sharing, we're conscious of our pride. And again, this comes down to why I was so driven, because I'd said to all these people, I am not going back to work and I need your help. So therefore, I couldn't lose face. That was the biggest thing. I could not lose face. And I would really say to you that that's what you've got to keep in your mind, is this is in your control. Don't lose face. You can do this. So I had my pamper parties. Again, like I said, I was really, really honest with people and said to them what I needed. I spoke to at least 2 people every day about the product. So I would look in my diary and I would find opportunities. If you're in work, you are surrounded by people. If you are a mum at home, as I was, because I was on maternity leave, I had to make myself busy. Yeah, I wasn't going into work. Actually, that's quite hard when you're not doing that, because you're not seeing people necessarily. It's quite easy just to stay at home. So what I had to do was look at things and go, right, where am I going to go? Who am I going to connect with? And who would I like to reconnect with? So I made myself sociable. That meant that I spoke to at least 2 people a day about the products. I followed up with all of these with experience packs. So even if somebody, all the people at the 8 pamper parties, they all ordered from me. But I didn't just take their order. I took something else that I'd heard them talk about on the night, and I took that for them to try. Now, I know that we have samples and they are amazing, but personally, I took products to them because I wanted them to feel it in their hands. I wanted them to see the size, the quality, the fact that actually our products are really amazing and go a long way. They last a long, long time. And I wanted them to see that. So I made sure that actually they were all getting that. If people couldn't come to the event, because people do drop out last minute, I made sure I contacted them and said, thank you so much for saying you would come. I understand things get in the way. Please can I pop round, just give you some products to try. And obviously, when you're going around to people's houses, you've got that opportunity to start a dialogue, and you'll know these people, you'll know the kind of things that maybe are challenges in their life, things that you can talk to them about, maybe even if they're interested in the business. And if you're taking around full-size products, the great thing is it means that you have to go and pick them up. You have to go and collect them, which again gives you that opportunity for conversation, to speak to people and say, what did you think? Doing this was amazing because it really opened my door to people that I didn't know, that I hadn't met before. I was connected through friends to people. It really was amazing. I also spoke to 50 people per week, either face-to-face or online, about the business opportunity, okay? And this was really difficult. I was like, oh my goodness, what will people think of me? But again, now I look back and I still have people ignore me that have never responded to a message, 4 or 5 years down the line. I'm okay with that. They're seeing on social media my success in it. And do you know what? Forever just might not be for them, and that's fine. But I feel proud to show what I am doing. And that, like I say, was such a huge driving factor for me. I can see a lot of you mentioning about consistency, and please feel free, use the chat box here, tell me your thoughts, tell me where you're at with this. If you're struggling with consistency, and I know Nick will speak to you more about this in a moment, you need a daily checklist. You need something where you're actually going to make a plan. And I'm going to show you as well in a moment my plan for getting to supervisor and exactly what I did, because I've touched on some things here. These are things that are like you're to do. Book in 12 pamper parties, go and speak to 12 people and ask them. And if all 12 say no, speak to another 12 people. I feel like so often when we're employed, we accept failure more. We're okay with failure. And yet when we're self-employed, when you've got your own business, we almost give up so much so much more easily. And I just think, but why? You're in a position where you have control of your income. Never, ever, ever did I truly believe that this business could give me what it has, but it has. And I'm not the only one. And when you look around on these webinars and on success days, please see that you are looking at very, very normal, ordinary people. They're just like you. So you need to get out of your own way and start committing to this activity, because you can do it. It's not hard. It truly, truly isn't. You can do it. You just have to really, really want it. And if you're struggling with that consistency, I really suggest go back to that why. Play the why game that I spoke about before, because honestly, when you truly dig deep and find why on earth you're here, why you're giving up your time on a Wednesday night, you will really start to see, oh my goodness, this is so much more important to me than I actually thought it was. I mentioned that I didn't have tea and case credits, okay? I mentioned that I didn't have tea and case credits, and I didn't. I recruited one person that gave me 2 CC, but that was it. So the rest of it was purely on retail. And just when you're reaching out to people, I really worried about using retail, about reaching out to people that I had known. It was almost easier to speak to strangers. I'm sure a lot of you sometimes feel the same. But actually, the majority of our team, when I look at the makeup of them, they're people that I went to school with, or they're people of siblings that I went to school with that I've reconnected with. So I would really urge you to do that. And someone's asked about social media. Social media is a great platform for that, to reconnect with people, because you may not be likely maybe to see them in your everyday life, but through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you're using, you can do that. Someone's asked if I use social media. I do. I really do use this. This was mostly kind of driven through lockdown and the need to. I'm a really strong believer that you cannot be speaking to people face to face. And actually, if you're not speaking to people face to face, you're going to have to speak to a lot more people if you're just messaging people. That is just my opinion. And I've got team members on tonight, I've seen them already on saying hello, who would agree with me on this. When they've spoken to people face to face, they've got results. And yet they get disheartened when they sent 5 messages and not had results from that. So you really can't beat face to face. However, I use social media as a way to market myself. So to people that I may have spoken to, whether that be face to face or online, my social media, my stories, etc., they're a way of showing people who I am. If you want to go and have a look at my social media to go and see what it looks like, please feel free to. I think it's Steph with a double F _Dubourg, DUBOURG, on Instagram. So please feel free to go and have a look, and yeah, you know, share and share alike. I'm just looking at some of your questions here. Do I chat first or go in the business straight away? It really depends on the person that I'm speaking to. I tend to, if I don't know the person, so if it's somebody that I'm like randomly connected with, and that does sometimes happen, unless I feel like it's natural to start up a conversation with them, like it's their birthday or they've had a big life change, like a pregnancy or a birth, or, you know, some move house or something, then no, not always. I won't, because I can't just generate conversations with everybody. And I am a real big believer that I've led my business from the heart. I'm incredibly genuine, far too honest, and therefore I can't generate a false relationship with somebody. I've either got a relationship with you or I haven't. Now, obviously, relationships can start and begin during your forever business. It's not to say that. In fact, some of the best relationships that I have in my life are from starting my forever business. However, I do think that sometimes, you know, again, people always say you can't send the wrong message to the right person. People are either interested or they're not. And it is, I can see someone saying, Steph, I'll pop my Instagram link in the comments in a little bit when I hand over to Nick, so you can find that there. So my top tips for supervisor, I mentioned about holding yourself back. Get off that train. If you're on this train, you're on this train because you want to get supervisor. So make the decision now to cut the excuses, cut the rubbish, and just do it. Get on board that supervisor train. You can do it. There is no difference between you and me. Okay. I am not massively confident. I am massively passionate. There's a huge difference. Trust me when I say I was shaking and sweating before coming on this tonight with you. But I am passionate, and I'm passionate to share this business with you and anyone else in the world, because I know that it can give people an incredible change in their lives, whether they're looking for an extra couple of £100 or to replace their salaries like we have done. I'm just checking your comments at the same time here, sorry. So if you're thinking, I'm going to go for supervisor next month, I've got an order to place, I'll hold it back. Please don't. You're already there in the wrong mindset. Trust me when I say that to you. And it didn't make sense to me when somebody said it, but now I look back, I can see it was like, no, you just need to go for this. Like, if you're holding on to a 1 case credit order, seriously, what do you think that 1 case credit is seriously going to do for you in the bigger picture here of 25 case credits? Like, you just need to commit to it, go for it. Breaking out that 4cc barrier, I'm a strong believer that our team have success in resale because I am a strong retailer, and I see so many other leaders exactly the same. If you want your team, if you want to recruit people and you want to show other people the business opportunity, you need to lead from the front. You need to have that yellow suitcase in the front of your mind. If you do 12 months of 4cc, you get a yellow suitcase. That needs to be there. Shout out if you've already got that. Put in the comments if you've got your yellow suitcase. Because if you have that, or you're working towards that, that is you leading from the front. That is you showing people what is possible. Also, having recruitment as part of your plan. I love working with my team. It's something that I'm so passionate about. It is untrue. I love hearing what people want. I can see people coming through with their yellow suitcase as well then, guys. But if you're going for a yellow suitcase, you put that in there. Someone got their suitcase yesterday. That's amazing. You might recruit, but look at my journey to supervisor. I was speaking to a lot of people, but I only recruited 1. Now, I cannot tell you how many of those people that I spoke to during that time have now joined the business, okay? It is very rare that you get somebody who you speak to that day and they go, yes, I will sign. Like, it's just, the odds are not in your favor on that one. People take time. If you think about yourself and your forever journey, maybe put this in the comments. How long did it take you to join? Some people will say I joined on the day, but I know for me, it took me about a month to join. It took me some time to watch. I'm speaking to people at the moment who are looking to join, and I spoke to them 5 years ago. I mean, it's bonkers. So it's about understanding that. Face to face, I mentioned this before, you really can't beat it. Please, please, please try and understand that it might feel easier to sit and send a message, and it might be easier to fit into your everyday life. And by all means, do something as opposed to nothing. But you really cannot beat that face-to-face interaction with people, because they get your passion. They get you. They sense your vibe. Yeah. And that's really important for people to be with, you know, to get what you're excited about. Touching your business every day. You will have days that are busy. I mentioned right at the beginning of this, I've got my daughter's birthday on Friday and I've got her party on Sunday. Those are going to be bonkers busy days for me. But will I touch my business? Absolutely. Will I open my messenger box or my WhatsApp to see if people have messaged me? Yeah. Because it's money, it's potential money, it's business, yeah? So like, if you want to work this like a business, it takes literally 2 seconds to open up your messenger and respond to a message. Like, honestly, guys, commit to it, because trust me when I say, if you start touching your business every day, that is when you will find that consistency. I know so many of you have said about that, and almost have like a bare minimum consistency. So on Friday and Sunday for Arabella's birthday and party, I am not going to sit there and do follow-ups. I haven't got the time. I've got to ice a mermaid cake and do a like 20-foot balloon garland. I have not got time for that. But I will still wish people happy birthday. And I will still check my messenger box and check that people, if the team have messaged me, or if prospects or customers have messaged me, I will still do that because that's important to me. I will still post on social media because people like to see your life and people get a feel of you from doing that. Making an 8-week plan. This is really, really important. I can see so many of you commenting. This is amazing, guys. Make an 8-week plan. Get into Supervisor. 8 weeks. What's it going to look like? Do you have retail activity booked in? I had 2 retail activities booked in every single week. And tracking your CCs. I showed you before the chart that you're all going to get emailed tomorrow, but this is the chart that I actually have on my fridge. Now, this is not for Supervisor, I've got to confess. However, it is tracking things like Global Rally, Eagle Manager, and that for me is where I'm at. It's what's important. It's on my fridge. I literally update it all the time. It's really important to me. The can event, I've got that on the next cupboard along. I highlight it. It's really important to me. It keeps you on track. Okay, so what can you do then for your 8-week plan? So look at maybe what your current orders are, what your personal use is. So look at, even if it's just a couple of tooth gels that you've got or one gel drinker, what are those case crates? Actually, what are they? Yeah, what do they look like? What are your orders? Could you do a C9 or a DX4 campaign where basically you do a C9 or a DX4 and you take people along that journey with you? You blog about your journey, you tell people what it's like, you talk to people in your everyday life, you take the products with you when you're out and about so people ask you questions. I remember Jane Leach saying that she used to walk around with either a Start Your Journey box or a C9 box. If you're doing the C9 or the DX4 and you're going into work or meeting up with a friend, take the box with you and just put it on your desk or on the table. You don't need to actually say anything. People will ask you what they are. Pamper parties, these are amazing. There's such a great opportunity for people to touch and feel the products and actually see what they're all about. WhatsApp sales, where you can get people together. Please do this. One thing they're with them, ask people before you add them to a group. There's nothing worse, whether it's on Facebook or in WhatsApp, being added to a group that nobody has asked you if you want to be a part of. And actually what you'll end up happening is, particularly in a WhatsApp group, because people can see who leaves, and on messenger groups, people will just leave because you've not asked them, they don't know what it is. And that doesn't look good for you if people are leaving the group, okay? Speaking to people and using experience packs. Literally, if you're out and about, please promise me tomorrow that you will leave the house with a product in your hands, a product that you use. Give it a wipe with a wet wipe beforehand, you know, or whatever, but put the Propolis in your bag, use it, offer it to other people to use. If you go into a baby group, oh my goodness, the amount of Propolis creams I sold because I was using it as a barrier cream for nappy rash for my daughter Arabella, it was insane. I had people join the business because of it. It was bonkers. So have those products with you that you can hand out and say, borrow it for tonight or use it now and I'll pick it up from you tomorrow. Thinking about your customers, you might have some customers who absolutely love the products. Have you offered them the Start Your Journey box? They're going to get a huge array of products there they're probably already using, or if they're not, they're probably, you know, they'd use a toothpaste because I'm guessing they probably brush their teeth, and actually they're going to have a lifetime 30% discount. Always as well, go through the product brochure. I think sometimes when you feel a bit stuck in this business, you can think, oh, what do I do? Where do I go next? Go and get a product brochure and flick through it. Go and look at those repeat customers that you could get from things like the drinking gel, the Garcinia, the collagen, RG, shakes. Go and look at that first section of the brochure where you can actually go, right, who can I contact? Who do I know that would benefit from this? And then make a list of the people. Yeah. And then that's another job for you to do, is to go and contact those people and follow them up. Aloe bars are fantastic. This is actually an aloe bar that I did at my local golf club. I absolutely love doing these, and they're just a winner. Generally, I found that you don't have to pay for them like a stall. You just contact a business, ask them if you can do a pop-up there as part of the experience for their customers. I will say, though, that when I first did aloe bars, I sent 38 emails and I received nothing, not a job. And I picked up the phone, which was really out of my comfort zone. I will say if you're in that same situation where actually you feel that, you know, it's out of your comfort zone as well, But I picked up the phone, and of course, the first person said no. I was devastated. I thought, I can't ring somebody else. I actually don't think I did ring somebody else that day. I probably left it to the next day. The next two people that I spoke to were one was a golf club, one was a golf club with a gym attached to it. They both said yes. And they both said that I could come in weekly. That was all I needed. I didn't actually need to follow up the other 35 because 2 had said yes to me. And that gave me what I needed. Aloe bars, if you're going back regularly, you become a regular to the people that are there as well. And that's where you'll find that people trust you, they get to know you, you build that relationship with them. You can see someone there doing it in a post office. Genius, absolutely genius. My downline manager, she actually did one in her local spa. I don't mean like a lovely tranquil spa. I mean the spa garage, right? So if you're telling me you can't find one, just go out and start speaking to more people, because trust me, you'll find them. Think well about who you would love to work with. And this is something you can do tonight after this training or tomorrow. Go and write your dream team list. Who are the 20 people that you would love, love, love to work with? Not who you think would be interested. I'm not asking you what you think their opinion will be, but who you would love to work with. Think about those people, who those people would be. Write them down. Get them on a guinea pig one-to-one. A guinea pig one-to-one is where you're saying to somebody, and you can work with your upline, or you can buddy up with somebody else that you know in forever, or speak to head office and they'll buddy you up with someone. You know, say to somebody, I could really do a practice. I've started this business, or I'm looking to grow my business. And I'm wanting to learn how to share the business professionally with people. Have you got 30 minutes where I could just practice on you? I mean, obviously you could do it yourself. You could do it with your upline. You could do it with a buddy, and literally you practice the business presentation. It's a great way of showing people more about the products and the business. And I tell you this now, the amount of people that then end up signing or becoming customers is untrue, because they've been exposed to it. They've seen more. Speaking to people about the business we've spoken about, and also inviting people to look at the business opportunity. Think about how you're contacting people. I would advise, some of you asked about social media. You asked about social media. If you are contacting a lot of people on social media, say you're contacting people in your messenger, if I receive a message from somebody that I went to school with, and like I mentioned, the majority of our team are people that I did go to school with, it's been a long time since I've been at school. So what's the first thing that people are going to do when they get my message? They're going to go straight to my profile and Facebook stalk me. Yeah. So think of it sometimes as a shop window as well. And that's why I say sometimes speaking to people online isn't always easier, because you do need a shop window, because they don't know who you are. If you're speaking to people face to face, you're there. They can see you. Yeah. People asking about, how do I start talking to them about forever? Well, it depends really on the conversation and who you're with. If you're with somebody face to face and you're chatting to them, you know, I ask people questions about their holidays, about, oh gosh, have you filled your car up recently? You know, to which everyone goes, oh my goodness, yeah, and it was like this much money. That's a perfect opportunity for me to go, well, I know cost of living is going up so ridiculously, isn't it? Have you looked at what I do? Because it could really help you. I don't know whether it'll be for you or not, but you know, don't know unless you have a look, do you? That type of thing. And I think that's where you can then build those connections, people. You know, if you see that somebody's had a baby or going on maternity leave, you know, don't obviously jump on them as soon as they had a baby. That would be a bit too much. But, you know, noting that down and actually then, you know, seeing that and being able to speak to people about it. I've given you so much information there, and I promise you that I will be keeping an eye on the comments. I will be answering your questions at the end of this, but I have got the most amazing, as I call, Nick, my Nick. She's amazing. She's truly incredible. And she is so excited to share with you tonight her journey to supervisor and exactly what she did. So I'll hand over to you, Nick.
Thank you so much, Steph. That was amazing. And you're an inspiration as always. I am super excited, but I'm also super nervous. So please bear with me. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Nicola Smage Rosenblum, and I joined My Forever business back in the end of July 2020. I came across an advert on Facebook at the time, actually, of Steph and Tom. And I commented, I liked, and before I knew it, Steph messaged me back and we got into conversation. At the time, I was working full-time school hours for a synagogue, It was during lockdown, so I had actually already started another network marketing business alongside, just to escape the stresses and the strains and the day job and everything else. So I literally didn't have time. But Steph and Tom, they drew me in, they attracted me, the advert, so friendly, helpful, passionate. Their story was just unbelievable. And they were so open to everything. So I joined then. I started my business probably beginning of August. It took me time to get off the ground, like Steph may have mentioned to you. You know, you spend your time getting to know the information and all the resources around you. And then very sadly, November 2020, during lockdown, lost my father-in-law and my stepdad within 2 weeks of each other. So sadly, I had to take a step back from the business for about 3 months. But during that time, Steph and Tom were there for me, not just for business, but for personal, to see how I was, to check in on me. I think they thought at that point that I wasn't going to get back to it. But January 2021, I needed to do something for me. I needed to look after my own health and wellness. It's been a proper journey for myself as well as helping others. So I just wanted to dive straight back in. And it was really important to me that I was full CC active. So I started the January 21, and then I qualified level 1, level 2, level 3 by February 2022. I love being part of Forever. I love everything about it. And it took me a further year to get to supervisor. I went to some training actually for earlier this year, January, and Lisa Prescott was talking, and she was saying basically that your journey is your own journey. You can't compare yourself to anybody else. Somebody who gets to supervisor within a few weeks or a few months, and somebody else can be a few years. Everybody has different commitments. I am working alongside this as well. I did leave my job at the synagogue just due to I needed to get away from bereavement and do something else more fun. Sadly got made redundant last November, but started another job January this year. I also do some waitressing as well, so I am juggling 3 part-time jobs. So for anybody out there who doesn't have time, you kind of make time, even if it's in the nooks and crannies of the day. You just learn how to fit it all in. And I wanted to invest in myself and in others. That's really kind of, you know, my forever journey so far, but I will go into it more detail for you. So I'd like to share my top tips for you about the forever business. And this is really, some of it Steph has mentioned to you, but consistency and productivity. Being a product of the product, attend events and training, and be 4cc active. So you might be able to see my little suitcase in the back, and I'm very fortunate. During lockdown, the house turned into a warehouse. My husband very kindly got me a garden room, so I do have everything on display, and it is really good, especially when I've got people coming around for a one-on-one or for a cup of tea and a chat and to have a look. It's really, really good. So consistency and productivity. Steph mentioned to you about a daily to-do list, checklist. This can be daily, weekly, monthly. Each individual will have different things on there. Be realistic. If you think you can only do 2 or 3 things a day, only put 2 or 3 things on there. But you can, so for some examples, birthday messages, adding people to your group, whether you use Facebook or Instagram. Try and use one platform of social media. You can use more than one, but do one really, really well. And Forever as well, they're likely to have it in a closed group. Don't splash Forever all over Facebook because it's not very authentic. Try and keep it private and personal. Make sure that you do stories every day, at least up to 5 different stories, and that you comment on other people's stories so that you can start conversation. You can start messaging each other backwards and forwards. Post on your social media platform as well, on your normal page, on your profile page, and just communicate with the rest of your team and wider team. If you don't have a team yet, no problem. It took me over 2 years, and I only have a very, very small team. Be a product of the product. I have invested within this company. If you don't purchase products, then you can't give your feedback, you can't share your results. And also use the products and use them daily. I have the drinking gel every morning. I have the collagen every night. I have the shakes every morning because I'm always in a rush, getting ready for myself, getting the kids, just sorting the house out before I leave the house because I hate leaving a mess. Grab my shake. Sometimes I can add a bit of extra something into it. You know, you can have a shot of coffee, or you can whiz up a banana, any sort of fresh fruit and veg, add it in there to be a bit more filling or a bit more nutritious. What else do I have every day? I use the avocado soap, I use the aloe scrub, the aloe liquid soap. I know the MPD is now being discontinued, but I still love it. And before it discontinued, I stocked up, which I then sold out all my stock to get Supervisor. But Tom has been very kind, so I do have some more. And then attend events and training. I have tried to attend as much as I possibly can. Steph, you've gone backwards. You can change the slide. I try to attend as much training as possible. So I go to all the success days. I go to the trainings when I can. And I think when you're committed and when you're passionate about something, which I am, and I love learning. I mean, everyone's journey is different and it takes you a different amount of time. But when I go to training, I see people, I have conversations, people inspire you from listening to their success stories. I make notes and then I can go back and read on them and look at them, especially if, you know, I don't remember it there and then, take pictures of the screens. And you're just gathering the knowledge and the information bit by bit. Steph and Tom had some amazing training events at their house right back at the beginning, and which is amazing. They literally gave up their home, they've given their time, they've given their dedication, they've given everything because they know it's successful and they want their team to be successful. So make sure that you're using your mentor, make sure that you're speaking to them daily, weekly, monthly. Ask your wider team, wider group any questions. Everybody's there to help each other. So I've befriended quite a few people, not within necessarily our team, but, you know, people that have inspired me from Success Day. And I've reached out just to ask them different bits and pieces. And I picked up from the last training day, actually, Bettina was talking about preferred customers, and I'll go on to that in a minute and explain a bit more. And B4CC Active, again, is something that I have to do and want to do every single month. Even now I've got to Supervisor, because B4CC Active, like Steph mentioned, it helps you show, you know, the wider team that you're working the business, that you're doing the do, that you're being consistent. And you know, you want others to follow in your footstep. You can't have a team expecting them to do all the hard work and graft and you're just sat, you know, earning off them. You've got to do the do as well. So yeah, try and attend as many things as you can. And for me, I'm based in Leeds, so to go to a Success Day, it's 2.5 hours each direction. You know, I'm leaving the family behind for the day, but I know what I'm going to get out of it. I know that it's going to motivate you. It's going to inspire you. It's going to give you that oomph again. I mean, no matter whether you've been in the business 6 months, a year, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, sometimes we all need to go back to basics, start from scratch again. And, you know, just keep relating to it, keep going back to your why, keep going back to your consistency. It's a learning curve. I am not always consistent, but Steph has always been there to push me, to guide me, to remind me, because I'm very good at talking the talk, but it's remembering to do the do. So I'd like now to share with you top tips for getting to Supervisor. So focus on building a regular customer base, customer service and team support, stores and pamper events, which I try and do 2 per month. So I'll try and go into these in a little bit more detail for you. It's taken time for me to build up regular customers. Like I mentioned, I started at the beginning during lockdown. I went to a lot and attended a lot of networking events, and I love networking right at the beginning. And I used to get the business cards made, and everybody that I met, I gave them one of my business cards and I made sure that I took theirs. And, you know, message people after you meet people, connect with them, keep the business cards. Sorry, I just need a drink. I still do networking, whether it's online or face to face. I just love networking. And from that, I started, I met a couple of people and we set up an event. It must have been a good 2 years ago. It was like June time in somebody's garden. And we did a stall, we had a stall raising money for a local charity. And from that, they decided they were going to set a business up. So now I have regular stalls every single month. I know what's going in the diary. I plan ahead. So I'll talk to you a bit more about that in a second. But customer service, I keep track of everything. I have a spreadsheet for every month. Whenever I'm at my stalls or my pamper events, I get somebody to complete the prize draw questionnaires. You can get these online. They come in your starter kit. You can make your own. By getting the prize draw questionnaire, you're getting people's contact details. And also when you're having those conversations, you make a note of the products that they're interested in, products that they purchased, things that they sampled, and things like that. And I keep all my prize draw questionnaires. I've got millions, and every now and again I go through them, but I also track everything on a spreadsheet. And I've also got another folder here because I am old fashioned and I do like paper. I use a planner and a diary, but some people might prefer to use Google Keep. There's so many different ways of tracking and planning and making notes. And I've got a folder here which is just like an A to Z, and in here it literally has their name and what products they've bought in the past. So if I get towards the end of a month and I've had events but they've not been overly successful, then I can contact people that have bought the C9. I can contact people that have on the drinking gels, the shakes, etc. But with customer service and with contacting people, I'm very aware that I don't want to scare them off. So I don't want to message them too often. I don't want to sell all the time. I want to get to know my customers, build relationships, build friendships, kind of get to know them on a personal level, really. And also they can then recommend or refer to other people that they may know, which is brilliant. And what else was I saying? Sorry, trying to make sure that I say everything to you. So I have a small team now, which is amazing, and I couldn't have got Supervisor without a small team. So from the bottom of my heart, I properly thank them. Not only that, my regular customers who get drinking gels every single month or every 6 weeks, a lot of them have signed up to be preferred customer. So Bettina wasn't talking about being preferred customer back at the training in January, and it's about getting your head around it. So on your Forever page, when you look at preferred customer, it says something like 5% discount, but forget that bit. When you join the business as an FBO, you get 30% discount off automatically straight away. So turn the FBO title into preferred customer title. So you get your preferred customers to sign up to the business. They get the starter kit, they get products that they wouldn't normally use, and then they can either order their own products going forward through their own website, or I order a lot of my preferred customers for them and still do the deliveries, do the orders, do all of the nitty-gritty so they've got no admin, and I automatically give them 30% discount off because I'm still benefiting. I'm still getting the CCs, I'm still getting the regular orders, and it works really, really well. I've probably got about 4 preferred customers now. I've got a great active team member, Avril, who's amazing, so thank you. She joined August last year, I think it was, and I've just got a new team member who signed up last month, so we're just getting him off the ground, which is amazing. So just keep talking to people, keep people's details, and it's all in the follow-up. Dig your prize draw questionnaires out, go through your to-do list, your spreadsheets, see who you sold to last month, last year, etc., and just touch base with them. And also get used to people saying no. People will say no, people will ignore your messages, people may no longer want to get anything from you, but that's okay. That's okay. People, change and go in different directions. So just wanted to go into a little bit more about stalls and pamper events. So I have 2 stalls per month. and I have them in the diary, but I knew that January and February this year I didn't have any stalls, because after Christmas people don't really want to spend, and people don't really advertise stalls. They try and do it from March to December. So I thought, well, what can I do? I've gone through my who do you know list, I've gone through my contacts. People aren't really interested in coming to my events anymore like they used to, because I've had quite a lot. So I reached out to other stall holders that I'd met through doing the stalls. I built up friendships. Also, when you do stalls, connect with other stall holders, get their details, join each other's Facebook groups, add them to your group, see if you can help them, if they can help you. So January and February this year, I joined together with two people, one who did body shop at home and another lady who did massage, and we did complimentary treatments. I did them at my house, like a pamper event, a party, got some nibbles, got some drinks. We did a bit of an informal introduction and just keep it fun and informal. You can play games as well. We did the left to right game. I don't know whether you know about it, but you can find it within the QLS, or just Steph and I can pass it on to you. All you have to do is I gave out two free aloe lips, which was amazing. So you're only, and you're getting a lot more from that. And again, at your parties, make notes of everything. Some people will buy there and then. I've invested a lot. So when I do my stalls and my events, I have a lot of products on display. I have a lot of brand new products so people can have them there and then. And I generally order twice a month, just because I get annoyed with paying delivery, but it's just part and parcel. It's life now, isn't it? You have to pay delivery on most things. But I come together with other companies, and then with other business owners, and that brings in their people, and then I have fresh new people that you can share the products with, share the business with, and it's been working really, really well. And that's what I did in January and February, and that's what essentially that plus a little team plus preferred customers that got me to supervisor. And it's just trying to be consistent. I am not consistent every single day. I am work in progress. I am still on a journey. I'm still learning. I'm still trying, but I've got the supervisor. It's not going to go backwards. That 38% discount is going to be there for life, and I can only go upwards. So I'm sorry if I've baffled or gone on and on and on, but also invest in yourself. I also have, the drinking gel leaflets, the skincare booklets. I give brochures out to everybody, and also at your events and things, I have the drinking gels to sample. I have the shakes to sample. I give out collagen to sample with the collagen leaflets. I make a teapot of the aloe tea so people can touch, taste, try. At the events, I have all the new things on one side, and then I have all my skincare products. I've got samples so people can touch, feel, taste, try. It really, really helps, because people like to do that. And I also have these out as well, little, white with white pen on, little stands, so it attracts them. And also help each other. I contacted Beth and she sent loads of flyers across to me, and I have these at my stalls, and about aloe lips. There's loads of different ones, but the one about eczema and psoriasis, this really draws people in when I do my stalls, because a lot of people do suffer with eczema. So just have things visible and try not to put too much out, because there is a lot of products and you can't be passionate about everything. So just, be a product of the products that you use, and good luck to everybody. And I wish everybody, really, really well. And I love Forever. I love everything about it. It's a family. So yeah, so that is me. I will stop waffling and I'll pass back to the lovely Steph, who's going to talk to you about the June Success Fest. So see you all in June.
So much, Nick. Oh my goodness, I'm buzzing, and I've got loads of your questions that you've been putting in the box. So I have got these written down to kind of clarify things with you and just go over. What I will say is I find it really exciting to hear from Nicola, and also when I look at my own journey, because we didn't come in and immediately get to supervisor. I've been in the business for nearly 18 months before I turned supervisor, and obviously Nick shared her journey with you as well. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, can't do 4cc, how am I going to do this? Make the 1st of April the month that you do. Make that commitment to yourself. Like Nick said, it's not just about investing in yourself financially. That's not necessarily what we mean. It's about investing in yourself emotionally and being like, actually, I want to do this for me. I want to do this for my pride, to be a part of this. That's so, so, so important. Birthday messages, people have asked about this. If you're operating your business on Facebook every day will tell you whose birthdays it is. I find it an absolute winner for my business, and this is what Nick's saying as well, to message people, not on their wall, but to send them a private message simply saying, happy birthday. I must get, I would say, about 1 to 2 people a day that come back to me and say, oh, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I didn't reply to your message. And it's a brilliant way of doing it. If you write on their wall, they're not going to come back to you because it's just not as personal. Whereas if you drop into their DMs, then that's a great way to build that relationship a bit more. And Facebook gives you that information every single day. Following up from events, Nick mentioned that not all people order on the night. They don't. And you hear all the time, fortune is in the follow-up. It's so, so true. The amount of people that I've had my events with who, when I follow them up, want to order, they don't actually want to order in front of everyone. Like, they don't want to say, actually, I want to try that because I think it can really help with my IBS. It's about actually being able to speak to people and have that kind of follow-up and that connection with them. Experience packs, I think this has actually been covered in the kind of in the comments, but just to clarify, experience packs are literally where you just loan a product to somebody, and I would loan somebody a product for 24 to 48 hours or give it them there and there to try. The reason for that is because the short time span is because it gives that urgency. It makes it exciting. They want to try it. It's not just going to sit on the unit top and they're not going to try it. So for me, experience packs are really key. Tracking people have asked how you go about doing this. Can see lots of people chatting here. Oh, that's amazing. I will answer that question about eczema as well. What I've found has been really beneficial for people. So for tracking people, obviously you can use an online system. If you're not using an online system, and I didn't at the beginning at all, I only do now because my husband is very techie. We call him Techie Tom, and you know, he's managed to help me. But actually, to get to manager and beyond, I had 2 lever arch files. I had 2 lever arch files. One had a 1 to 31 file dividers in, and one had a January to December file dividers in. I bought a load of packs of lined paper that were pre-hole punch, you know, just like the refill pads that you get from Asda or Tesco's. And what I would do is, for every single person that I spoke to, whether it was about the business or the products, I would write their name at the top of a piece of paper. Obviously, Forever actually have this in the First Steps Manager. They have a people profile sheet, but I just had a piece of paper. I remember at the time when I set this up, I was away in the caravan. We were away for the whole of the summer. I didn't have access to a printer, so I just went and bought packs of paper. And literally for every person, I just wrote their name on it. And it meant that I was accountable then for every person, because when I messaged them, I'd pick up that piece of paper. Well, I had to do something with it. So I'd either put them in for 3 days time in my 1 to 31, so I'd know to follow them up, or I'd follow them up at the end of the month, or I'd put them in my January to December folder if now just wasn't the right time for them. Eczema, somebody asked about that. The things that I found that are so helpful are the liquid soap to cleanse the skin, okay, to start with a great base, or of course you could use the avocado soap. I found great use with the jelly, followed by the propolis, and those 3 products for me are just an amazing bundle. I use those myself for my acne. I used to have terrible adult acne, had microdermabrasions, chemical peels, steroid treatments, laser treatments, the lot, and nothing had touched it. And it wasn't until I started drinking the gels as well, if I'm honest, because that cleans you just from the inside out. And I was just using those very simple products, and that for me just worked a treat. And for people that do suffer with eczema or other dermatological complaints, I have found the feedback from my customers to be amazing on that. So, you know, I don't have eczema, but it's great to hear, you know, if you do know somebody that does suffer from eczema, ask them to try the products and say, I've heard this is amazing for this. Would you trial it for me and let me know what you think? Because that's exactly what I did. You know, I don't have arthritis, but I'd heard that the Freedom drinking gel was amazing for people who had sore joints. So I asked my nan to trial it for me, and she did, and she found great success, which gave me then a testimonial then that I could share with other people. High straw forms, people asked about this. These are just brilliant. They're just a good way of asking people questions. You can print them off. If you go and have a look around, you'll find lots of high straw forms. I actually think that they are in potentially your Start Your Journey box as well. But they're just a way of asking people questions and asking them for their contact details. Oh, I'm getting so many comments here. This is lovely, guys. Thank you so much. But actually just asking people questions. And you can ask them about themselves, and that just gives you an opportunity then to follow them up after the event, because very often events are so busy that you do require that time then to follow people up. People joining for the 30% discount. People are asking about preferred customer. There is such a thing in Forever as a preferred customer. That gives you a 5% discount. What Nick and I are talking about is going to people who love the products and saying, look, would you like a lifetime 30% discount? To which they go, yes. And you go, right, well, if you do, buy this box of products, i.e. the Start Your Journey box, and you will then get a load of products, like literally tons, and you are also going to get a lifetime 30% discount. That is basically what it means. So it's not that they're signing up as the typical preferred customer and we're giving them 30%. They actually are, if you like, they're joining the business. They're joining the business, but they're just not working the business. It's as simple as that. The tracker for incentives, people have been asking about this. So the tracker for incentives, this is going to be emailed out to you tomorrow. Like we mentioned, there will be a link in the email to where this is, because it's currently not on Forever Knowledge. So the link will be in the email. But if you've got team members that are looking to find this that aren't maybe on, it is probably going to be under the incentives. It's not on there yet, but Charlotte from head office has told me that it will be under the incentives. I'm just checking any of the comments. Acne for me, the brilliant thing that worked was drinking the gels, and then I used the liquid soap to clean my face. I then used the jelly and then the propolis. I would say as well, guys, before I kind of wrap up, I've had so many friend requests involved, and I promised that I would actually put this in the comments and I didn't. So there you go. There's my link on Instagram there, Steph_DeBorg. I've had loads on Facebook, and I don't want you to think I'm being rude when I don't accept your friend requests, but Facebook have a limit on friends that you can have, and I am nearly at it. So if I don't accept your friend request, please drop me a follow or on Facebook or on Instagram, but don't think that I'm being rude if I reject your friend request. It's not in a rude way at all. So what I would say to you now is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do now? What are you going to do from this information? You've spent an hour with us. I thank you so much for your time, but what are you going to do with this information? Think about what it is that you want from this and what you want to achieve. We've got our Success Fest in June. I'm so excited for this. I love a good party. I love a good success day. Celebrating people is what I'm here for. How many of you are going to be on stage at June Success Day? How many of you are going to be on stage, whether it's for even level 1 4cc, you're going to do 3 months consistently 4cc, or are you going I'm losing my voice now as well, apologies. Oh, I can't get my voice back, I'm so sorry. It just went there. A really terrible cough, guys, I'm so sorry. But are you going to be, I can't get my voice out. Are you going to be, you're going to have to just live with it. I sound like I swallowed helium. Are you going to be on stage at Success Day? If you are, what are you going to be on stage for? Have this picture in your head. Do you want a picture similar? And if you do, then you need to be planning now. Apologies that my voice went to the end there. It's typical, isn't it? Oh my goodness, it's come back now. Boom. Yes. Get yourself on Success Day. Think about the image that you want. What do you want that photograph of you to look like? How will that feel? Don't think about the money. Think about how that will feel, because your feelings will drive you so much more than money. It's been a pleasure to be with you tonight. I want to say, Nick, thank you so much for joining me. The pride that I feel as your mentor is just untrue. I genuinely mean that. This recording will be available by the end of the week on Forever Knowledge. Again, thank you so much for your time. And I just look forward to seeing all of you and celebrating all of you at Success Day. Thank you so much, everybody.